Top 10 strict rules the Harry Potter cast must follow. Hey guys, welcome back to Off-Cam Celebs. In today's video, we'll talk about the top 10 strict rules the Harry Potter cast must follow. Number 1. You can't wear your favorite hairstyle. Fans of modern fantasy may find this rule perplexing. Imagine if wigs were forbidden in Game of Thrones. Many of the actors had to follow their hair grow and dye it to achieve their required color. This rule was a nightmare for the young Harry Potter actors. For example, Tom Felton, who played Draco Malfoy, had to keep dyeing his hair the famous platinum blonde color. Emma Watson was also bothered by Hermione's unchanging appearance. She also cut her hair short right after the movie ended. In an interview with Metro, she revealed that she was not allowed to experiment with her appearance like other teenagers for all those years. She was not permitted to dye or cut her hair. I felt right, I'm 20, I'm not a girl anymore. I'd been on a Harry Potter for 10 years, so I needed to mark the end of it in some way. I needed a drastic change, and that's what the crop was all about, she explains. Fans also had questions for the franchise's stylist despite the franchise's strict haircut rules. Harry's hairstyle in the first two movies was more reminiscent of Paul McCartney's style than the actual Harry from the book. Harry's hairstyle in Harry Potter had the Prisoner of Azkaban, which is practically every fan's favorite part, were the only hairstyles in the movie that was similar to what was described in the book. Number 2. You can't keep chocolate in your pockets. This story sounds more like an urban legend, but we can't stop telling it. Rumor has it that Tom Felton was once kicked off the set for eating chocolates. According to the reports, the actor used to keep chocolate candies in his robe. The snacks would melt in hot weather, which would increase the dresser's workload. The milder version of this rumor is that Felton was not kicked out of the set, but rather his pockets were soon shut, so no more treats that could be hidden. Have you any news about it? Number 3. No spoilers. This is another rule that may seem strange to Harry Potter fans. How can you give a movie spoiler when the book has already been published and everyone is aware of what is going to occur? There is some logic to it. Though many moviegoers haven't read the books, and the audiences for the books and films were very different. However, more importantly, when the films were released, the book series had not been completed. And Joanne Rowling told the young actors that was what going to happen to their characters next. So we completely understand this rule now. Number 4. No alcohol. Wait, aren't we discussing children's movies? What role does alcohol play in this? Well, by that time the last part of the franchise was filmed, the actors were already adults. Given that they were extremely popular and received high salaries, the issue becomes clear. Daniel Radcliffe is not embarrassed to talk about his addiction problem in public, but he has also admitted that while filming that last few Harry Potter films, he frequently resorted to drinking. Off camera, the actor revealed that there were times during his adolescence when he felt like he was constantly scrutinized by the public. In my case, the quickest way to forget that you're being watched is to get very drunk, he explained. Despite this issue, Daniel revealed that he never got drunk at work. The studio had no way of replacing him or shutting down the project at the time. Harry Potter earned them millions while they had to deal with Radcliffe's drinking problem. Fortunately, the actor stopped drinking around the time the franchise debuted, and he no longer drinks. Number 5. No dangerous sports or activities. Tom Felton revealed in an interview with the Daily Mail that he was shooting Harry Potter the entire time. He was forbidden from engaging in any risky activities. The rules appear to be legal, but they are a bit harsh on the young actors who have been burned by riding a bike or skiing for many years. However, if any of the young stars were seriously injured, the studio would have a major problem, and they may have had to postpone a movie premiere or shoot some scenes separately. Imagine your childhood without trampolines, rollerblades, and bicycles. Number 6. No American actors. This rule, which stated that non-British actors could be hired, be introduced by J.K. Rowling herself. The writer was adamant that the British characters be played by British actors. In Fantastic Beasts, however, such a rule did not exist. Because the main events of the film took place in the United States, the actors could be Americans as well. For example, Johnny Depp was cast as a Grindelwald, and Rowling reported his choice. Both Jude Law and Eddie Redmayne, on the other hand, portrayed British wizard as they are. Because of this British-only rule, Robin Williams, who aspired to play Hagrid, was denied the role. Casting director Janet Hutchinson confirmed that Williams was subjected to the producer's British-only rule for the film series. Robin called because he wanted to be in the film, she explained. In 2001, Williams discussed his Throat Potter ambitions. According to the New York Post, there were a couple of parts I would have liked to play, but there was also a prohibition on using American actors. Would you have preferred to see Robin Williams in the role of Hagrid? Number 7. No bad grades. You'd be mistaken if you thought the young actors didn't have to go to school. It turns out that having a role in the most popular franchise of their generation did not exempt the actors for having to do their homework. Olivia Phelps, aka George Weasley, revealed that the child actors were even required to work on their homework while filming scenes, adding a great deal of realism to every Hogwarts student's scene. In the Great Hall sets exercise books, we do our homework and just to make it look like as authentic as possible, he explained. It's a thing that producers cared about actors' education and not just about the movies. If that isn't enough, just think of Alfonso Cuarón, who directed Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, and let actors write essays on their characters. Emma Watson wrote 16 pages, Daniel Radcliffe only wrote 1 page, and Rupert Grint didn't write any. If Rupert's opinion, Cuarón wouldn't have written the essay. Number 8. You can't date your co-stars. It wasn't a strict rule. They could have been kicked out of the franchise, but the producers did their best to avoid teenage drama. We're all used to the fact that a lot of on and off again relationship occurred during the filming of teen films and television shows. There were a lot of couples in The Vampire Diaries and Gossip Girl, for example. Many people such as Penn Badgley and Blake Lively were able to continue working together after their relationship ended. However, some people were unable to maintain professional relationships. Many people, for example, are still debating the fact if the reason why Nina Dobrev's departure to The Vampire Diaries following her breakup with Ian Somerhalder. The producers of Harry Potter did not watch such stories to be told on the set. There would have been numerous issues. For example, Emma Watson had been unable to work with Daniel Radcliffe at some point. Despite this rule, there were a few couples on the Harry Potter set. Tom Felton and Jade Olivia Gordon began the film while still in a relationship. Astoria Greengrass, Draco's wife, was played by Jade. Unfortunately, the couple split in 2016 after being together for 8 long years. Ginny's co-star Jamie Campbell-Bower dated Bonnie Wright, who played her. They even got engaged, but they called it quits in 2012. Number 9. You can't just leave the franchise. The actors were not allowed to leave the project for the entire 10 years of Harry Potter franchise. It's much easier to replace someone or kill off a character in a TV show than it is a movie based on a book with a pre-written plot. That's why Warner Bros. Required HP stars to sign contracts, which prohibited them from leaving the franchise. Of course, they couldn't force the actors to sign a 10-year contract. When it comes to the film The Goblet of Fire, Emma Watson almost dropped out. The actress decided to attend university and choose what to wear on how to present herself. That's why she was thinking of leaving the franchise. The producers, who couldn't imagine a Harry Potter world without Hermione Granger, were not pleased. They were so determined to keep Emma that they postponed the filming dates for her. "I feel very lucky," she said. Warner Brothers had been very supportive of keeping his education this going. "I'm very grateful." A change in actors in such franchises is never well received. For example, after the first two films, the actor who betrayed Dumbledore, Richard Harris, died unfortunately. The studio needed to find a replacement immediately and settled on Michael Gambon, who did an excellent job. Number 10. No starring in inappropriate movies. According to Tom Felton, he wasn't able to choose from many roles during this time in Harry Potter. Because the majority of Harry Potter fans were children, having the Harry Potter actors star in an appropriate film could have caused a problem for the studio. Despite being in the franchise for 10 years, Daniel Radcliffe only played one other character besides from The Boy Who Lived. He was in the film of December Boys, which you've probably never heard of. However, after the end of Harry Potter, his roles became more varied and distinct from those with Warner Bros. Would allow him to take on. From the highly publicized Swiss Army Man to the recent Guns of Kimbo, he appears to avoid playing similar roles. The actor wishes to put his Harry Potter image behind him, but can he? You cannot oppose the studio. As a result of all those rules, the actors, particularly the leading ones, lost out on a lot of opportunities. They had fame and fortune, but they were never truly free. It was difficult on the young British stars, given that the leading actors usually worked 12 hours or more. Daniel Radcliffe, for example, struggled with alcohol for a long time and is now starring in a questionable films. Tom Felton spent all his earnings from the franchise while he was still a teenager, as well as Rupert Grint has never played a major role in another major project. Emma Watson appeared to cope the best and avoiding falling down a slippery slope. It is clear that the franchise's famous actors struggle to deal with their fame and face some issues, and the strict Warner Brothers rules that governed their childhood may have contributed to some of the actors' poor decisions.